I haven't had a chance to talk to you about Jim Harbaugh being suspended. It happened on Friday night. I was in a hotel room in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, and so I figured let's let the game play out and then let's talk about it on Sunday. The 24 hours leading up to that game were surreal. Like, I don't know that people fully appreciate, because you heard rumblings that it was coming all week. I don't think people fully appreciate the impact of what you witnessed. You witnessed a major head coach of an undefeated team tracking for conference title, maybe playoff, forcibly removed by his own conference as an investigation is ongoing. Imagine saying that to yourself in August. Imagine our friend the alien comes down, and the alien looks around and says, and that translates to, where's Jim Harbaugh? And you're impressed that the alien knows the head coach of a Big Ten program, and then you tell him, well, he's not here. And then the alien, why? And you say, well, he got suspended. And the alien wants to know, oh, in response to the conclusion of what investigation? And you have to say, nobody. Investigation's still ongoing, but punishment's already been handed down. Like I said, pretty surreal. Michigan as an organization kind of sort of put on a clinic yesterday on how to handle crisis management. Dr. McCullough down at Columbus State University taught my crisis management class, and got a solid B. Got a solid B in that class. I like to think I handle myself well in crisis or crises. I've been in several, obviously, but I was there yesterday, man. I was there when they got off the bus. I was there when those buses pulled out. So I was around that organization the entire day. I say organization intentionally because it ain't just 85 scholarship players and some walk-ons that you take on the road. Everybody was horse race blinder mentality on. Everyone was razor sharp focused on the task at hand. And like I said, Meemaw used to always tell me, you want to know what the true test of culture is. You find out if you take your hands off the wheel. So Harbaugh takes his hands off the wheel, and if anything, team just sped up yesterday and ran over Penn State in the process. So I took it upon myself to talk to a number of the Michigan fans who were there yesterday, and they represented themselves well, by the way, numerically. And I had robust conversation with several of you. Because some of you didn't like the way I talked about Michigan last week. And then I found out a lot of you had conflated what a lot of the national media types had said and just assumed I said the same thing. That was like 80% of my interactions, by the way. So I dismissed those because you were just wrong, like you didn't hear what I actually said. Some of you did hear what I said and you disagreed with it, which is fine. So to be very clear where I stand on this, I think that Michigan did something wrong. I think the way the conference handled it is a joke. I think it came off extremely poor. I think Michigan comes out looking better as of this moment than their conference does because I think they handled it better. So obviously they got some folks with some experience in said fields advising behind the scenes up there. I think Jim Harbaugh should have known what was happening in his program. And to tell me he didn't is really irrelevant because I'm telling you I think he should know what's going on in his program. And the other thing, this is really to me the key distinction. I don't think this is the end of the world. It's not the biggest scandal, blah, 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 as some people have made it out to be. I don't care what kind of competitive advantage you tell me you think you got. That's irrelevant to me. And that is where a vast majority of the argument has shifted to. And like, I don't care, man. In other words, in sign stealing in baseball, I don't care if you go 0 for 5 with 5 strikeouts. If I find out that you illegally acquired my signs, I'm going to punish you the same way as if you hit 5 bombs off of me. So I've never cared about that from the outset here. Because I got one person over here that says it's worth 10 points a game. I got another person over here saying, no. It's irrelevant, man. Maybe it makes a microcosm of a difference. I don't care because that's all subjective. You can't prove it one way or another. You're not going to come to me and say, we shouldn't be punished because you know what? The teams that we've already played, we didn't need any added advantage against. We would have beaten them anyway. It's irrelevant. All that's irrelevant. So that's been my opinion on this. And that's about the end of it. I haven't trafficked in a lot of what you've heard some of the other folks out there say, and that's their prerogative. So, I went back and forth with some Michigan folks yesterday. I had like 5 different handshakes, agree to disagree, let's go our separate ways. But the storm is winding down for Michigan. I don't think people really get this now. Everything that's going to be thrown at Michigan's been thrown at them. I'm not so convinced that there are any kind of new allegations or evidence of more impropriety that's going to come out. I largely think we know what there is to know about Michigan, and if there's anything else, I think it'll be small layers, not anything above and beyond what we already know. The head coach has been suspended, and obviously, as of yesterday, it's not exactly on track to derail this team in any way. So the storm for Michigan, to me, is kind of winding down. But the storm itself is not winding down, because now I think it'd be wise to start to shift your attention a little bit to, all right, well, what's their full-on response going to be? Because it could be multifaceted in and of itself. You know, Michigan made very little doubt last week about the fact that we got information too, just hadn't spilled a lot of it yet. Are they right? Will they? Have they to the proper authorities? And number two is, not only what do they know, but how angry are they? I guess is the best way to put it. I asked some folks with the Michigan program yesterday, long term, years down the road, how different do things look because of this? And I think everything's on the table. I don't think any rash decision's going to be made, but I don't think anything's been taken off the table. I'm talking about affiliation with the Big Ten. I'm talking about where, what they call home, where they call home long term. I think all that's in play. Selfishly, if I were them, I'd probably feel the same way. I'm not them, so I'm on the outside looking in wondering, wow, is that what it's going to come to? I don't know. It doesn't surprise me that's the attitude, because I'm telling you now, as strong as people feel on one side of this fence, they feel every bit as strong on that side of the fence. And my kind of unique situation I found myself in is I get both sides. Like, I'm readily sitting here telling you, I think some kind of action should have been taken against them. I don't necessarily know that I would align in course of action with what Tony Pate and the Big Ten has decided to do, but I think some kind of action was warranted. However, I'd be beside myself if I were associated with Michigan or a Michigan fan at the way it's been handled. And I would also go full bunker mentality, us against the world for the rest of the year. I mean, I'd harness it. What else can you do with it? I'd harness it.